Well, hi everybody. This is Biz Coach Ben, Pure Value Business Coaching and Consulting. Back with you again. And today I wanted to talk to you about SpaceX. Um, Had a very interesting event happen last Saturday. Once a month I lead a hike. It's associated with my community, Thousand Oaks, and the Caneo Rex and Parks Department. We call it the CRPD, which Open Appreciation Hike. So we got about two-thirds of the way through the hike, and we're at the top of a peak, about 2,500 feet up. And there we had planned a little break. I brought some oranges and some apples, and there was a group of 15 of us on this particular hike. There was another guy came up by himself, and he was hanging around for a few minutes, and then he noticed that I was the leader, and he asked me, he says, "Hey, did you know that SpaceX is going to do a launch off of Vandenberg in just about a minute and a half?" I said, "No." And he had already had it queued up on a smartphone, and he had a history working with Rocketdyne, which was a rocket engine manufacturer locally in Thousand Oaks for many years, no longer in existence there. And for me, it was a real epiphany because my roots after graduating from college at San Diego State with a bachelor's of science degree in production management was a job I got right out of college with General Dynamics on space programs, specifically Atlas Centaur space launch vehicles. So we watched the launch. It was really, really exciting and a lot of fun, kind of added to the whole hike experience. And I came home and decided to take a look at where SpaceX was. And I really wanted to know whether the new technology they have been trying to employ actually worked well this time. And that technology is actually to land the first stage booster on a platform. So as it turns out, everything went perfect in this particular mission, and it was the first major success for SpaceX, and I'm very happy for them. So I went on and I did a little research because I really wanted to understand the difference between the SpaceX technology and that technology we were using on the Atlas Centaur program in the late 70s and early 80s. And it turns out it's not a lot of difference, actually. I'll boil it down for you in terms of the differences and the similarities. Similarities are the basic rocket methodology of propelling the rocket forward, almost exactly the same. Back with the Atlas Centaur, we used helium to fill the rocket. People don't really understand that the rocket shell itself is not solid, strong steel or aluminum. It's actually very thin material, and they use helium to fill it up and keep its shape. The SpaceX does exactly the same thing on their first stage. Then we used liquid oxygen. They were held in big tanks inside the launch vehicle. They used liquid oxygen. We used liquid hydrogen and mixed it with the liquid oxygen as the propellant. They actually use rocket grade kerosene. So in terms of propelling the vehicle, very similar. The outer skin, or what we see physically on the first stage rocket, we used high grade stainless steel, very thin, paper thin almost. They do the equivalent, but they're using high grade aluminum. So from that perspective, very much the same. The second stage, we used exactly the same technology as on the first stage. They're using a little bit different. They're taking advantage of composite materials, and they're using a different propellant altogether. When we get to the final stage, or the payload, they're also using composite materials in the payload structure in part. They have fins that are retractable. We didn't have that. That gives them more steering capability and more precision. And of course, the avionics have advanced significantly since those days. But what we, the whole point of this discussion, and I just want to take a quick look to make sure if there's any other highlights involved here. Of course, SpaceX hopes, in conjunction with NASA, to send actual paying commercial customers out into space in the near future after they complete a number of other commercial type missions that will cover about 4 or 5 years. So I think we covered all the primary information here. So why is this important in terms of personal and professional development? Well, what SpaceX has done is they have become an innovator. They took a concept that said, hey, only government contracts can afford this, and figured out a way using technology to create a repeatable model that would actually make it affordable for them to compete head-on with governments and meet a need. The need for low space satellites, stationary satellites, delivering payloads out into space, and actually doing things with the space station. And compete head-on and beat the pricing that the government can do on its own. When we think of innovation, Brian Tracy says it very, very well. We want to look for small improvements. And it's through small improvements that great sales happens. We rarely see something that's just a brand new idea. In fact, brand new scares people. What doesn't scare people, what excites people, is the new and improved version of the previous thing they're very familiar with. People want new and improved. And we hear it in our advertising all the time. So it should not be surprising to you that when you want to take a look at innovating either yourself at a personal level or at your business or organization, you're looking for where you have a little significant advantage that you can leverage through innovation and clearly make a separation between you and your competitors, just like SpaceX has done. Now, in the case of returning the first stage to Earth and landing it on a platform, that is innovation. But when we look at it from the perspective of what could be or what probably has been imagined, it's a very small step. They're not landing the spacecraft like you would an airplane. What they are doing is they found out a way to flip the first stage and land it on a platform vertically, and then return it back and reuse it. So I'm sure we're going to see more and more innovations that are based upon this idea and taking it to the next level and the next level and the next level. So we like to think of it in terms of the Parthenon principle, and my coaching goes a lot around the Parthenon principle. The Parthenon principle takes 7 different areas and has my clients take a look at where they can make small innovations that will differentiate them significantly from their competitors and give them a strategic advantage. Then we build a strategy around it and we move forward. Those things that work well, we do more of. Those things that don't seem to pan out, we cut the bait and move on. I hope this helped you. I enjoyed talking about it. Sure was a memory down the path for me, watching the SpaceX launch. When you get a chance, take a look yourself. You can find the articles both through Google and on NPR News. Have a great day. Like me on Facebook, BizCoachBen, Twitter, BizCoachBen. You can find me on LinkedIn, just my first name, last name, Ben Pumphrey. And if you want to book an appointment, find out more about how coaching can help you in your life. I got 30-minute and 15-minute sections available on my calendar. Just Ben Pumphrey, Calendly, C-A-L-E-N-D-L-E, or Calendly, for those who are not familiar with Calendly. And I'll spend some time with you, go over what it is you're trying to accomplish, and talk to you about it. Have a great day, take care, and see you next time.